Shovel Knight's not just an excellent side-scrolling 8-bit retro platformer in a growing sea of them, it is the best tutorial level I've ever seen in a game. Because you barely know it's a tutorial level. There aren't any, instructions. You get a little blurb at the beginning, and you get dialogue at the end, and you have words in the HUD, but that's it. So I'm going to walk you through the level and show you exactly why it's so brilliant. Let's begin. We don't need to show the opening cutscene. Let's jump in. Let's get shoveling. You see those words? That's all you get besides the HUD until the end of the level. Now look, this is a nice open area, and incidentally I'm going to approach this assuming you understand how platformers work. There's running, there's jumping, there's moves. You're not a complete idiot. So, still, look at this opening screen. Nothing here. No threats. A nice blank palette to explore. Not that Shovel Knight jumps, but how he jumps and what you can do with the buttons. For this, there are two buttons. You can jump and you can shovel. While I'm assuming you're not an idiot, I'll also assume you're not going to play with the downward strike just yet. So, let's move forward. I know I can shovel, and here's a pile of dirt. Let's try hitting that. Now I know I can affect the environment sideways. Here's an enemy. I could try jumping on him and see what happens. No, that hurts me, so let's just hit him with the shovel. I'm getting the basics. I know I can't jump on, like Mario, though I can hit things from the side. This is where it starts to get clever. There's a very simple fork. You can go on top, or you can go on the bottom. I know what's happening on the bottom. There are enemies, I can hit them with a shovel, and there's a pile of dirt. But what's this thing? Let's try hitting that. Okay, not only do I get a gem, I can break blocks. Learning something else. But I know there are gems in this block, so let's kill these enemies and go back and circle around to get them. Hey, now I know enemies respawn. That little bit of motion taught me that if you go far enough, enemies reappear. The game invites you to learn that, but it doesn't tell it to you. Here's a little sort of review if you want to get a few extra gems, and we can go on to the next part. Okay, I know I can break the blocks, I should go right here, but let's assume I don't know that this game has bottomless pits. It does have bottomless pits, but I don't know that. There was a wall here, so let's try jumping down. Okay, I died and something flew out of me. Now look at the screen where I got hit. Recover something. There's a bag that I dropped, and there's a line of scepter-y looking things on the top of the screen. All things that are slowly telling me more. And as I kill these enemies, I know that they don't respawn items. Great. But hey, what's that thing I dropped near the pit? Oh, there it is. I got points back. Now, I can tell that there doesn't seem to be a life screen anywhere. I don't have a number of lives, but I lose gold when I die. Mechanics I'm learning as I play without it being told to me. Let's learn a bit more. This block, I can hit it from the side, but what about this? Nope. I can't hit through a block that big. Well, what can I do? If I hit down, I just duck. If I try jumping and attacking, it does nothing, so let's try jumping and down. I point the shovel down and I can see that I hit the blocks. And if I wait for the beetle to go under me, I discover that I can hit them too. But it's still something I can learn in a bit. Now, this is a little bit interesting going on. The bubble, well, it could probably just bounce off it, huh? Nope, it hurts me. And if I didn't get hurt before, I'd see now that I have more than one hit per bubble of life. And since I downstruck through those blocks earlier, I know to try to do this. Hey, now I can jump off of things that damage me. Now I'm thinking, maybe I can use it on enemies. What's this scepter? Well, I can attack it, it does nothing, it doesn't seem to react to me, but if I died before, I saw some very similar shapes on the death screen. It's a checkpoint. Very simple, telling me what's happening, showing me what's happening without telling me. And yeah, I can bounce on enemies too. Great. If I didn't already learn that gems don't respawn, here's an opportunity. I hit that big block and I got a big red gem. I haven't seen a red gem before. It's big, it's nice. There's spikes. This game is based on Mega Man rules, so you die when you get hit by spikes. But if I don't know that, I'd want to test it out. Maybe I just get another little half blob of life off. Nope. Gold goes flying, I die. And if I didn't die before with that pit, I would now learn how the checkpoint works. I would learn that jewels don't respawn. We'll see that in the next screen. And I would learn that gold flies out of me, and I should recover it. 3 major gameplay elements, just simple mechanics that influence how I should play, that I'm learning without the game telling me in giant text box. Now, big orange dragon. Whoa, I know these balloons can hurt me. Well, bubbles, so let's try pogoing on that. Also, because he spits out the balloons, I'm learning that, well, I should try pogoing on some enemies. It's strategically advantageous. I'm also learning that if I hit a big enemy in a vulnerable point, he flashes, but if I hit an enemy where he's not vulnerable, nothing happens, but I can bounce off of him. And he's dead. That dragon is going to come a little bit later and teach me even more, but now, hey, maybe I should shovel these. Nope. Maybe I should pogo on this guy. Hey, he reacts to me. He moves back. I'm understanding that some enemies react. And I can, just play with the skulls and find out how they work. They break, they can hurt enemies. But look at these little stones. Once again, I can learn a little bit more about how Shovel Knight plays. Okay, I can beat these stones individually, but what if I hit in the middle? Now I know I have a bit of width with my downward attack. Let's get some dirt. I know there's some gems behind here, but now it looks like I'm trapped. Except I'm clearly not. There are ladders to the right of me. I can figure out what ladders do. And there are those big orange blocks I know I can hit with the shovel and destroy later on. So this looks like the wall, but I don't know it's going to explode, but I want to try to. It looks different, and it reveals a passage. These parts of the wall that look like bits of the level but are a little bit different, major part of the game. It's how you find a lot of secrets, and I just learned that you can hurt them. You can blow up these bits of wall and move on. I know I can poke on this, so I can move to the next part. Now this is where the game actually starts to fork. To the right, I can clearly go. Good. But I know I can break that wall that looks strange to the left, so let's try to do that. Another opportunity to learn how spikes work, because you never know, but let's go this way. The harder road leads to rewards. Your bottomless pits, a bit of danger, but hey, there's that big note thing and bigger gems. I get rewarded by exploring. Now I know that the good parts of the game are hidden, and that dirt on the wall behaves a little bit differently, but meh. Next lesson. Already I've learned it. Skeletons don't respawn. Some enemies, the smaller ones, do respawn when I leave the screen. But if I kill a larger enemy, like a skeleton, they don't reappear. Now, this is just a little review area. I can downward strike, I can downward hit enemies, and I can break blocks with my shovel. Doing a little bit more here. Well, this looks like a tray of food. Nothing happens when I hit it, but I know I can interact with items with my shovel, so... Hey, chicken! It's a food item, so I can figure out it restores life, but if I got hurt, I would have restored my life. Restored. And this jewel teaches me, hey, bouncing on enemies gets me a bit of height, and can help me get to places where I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And another weird part of wall, I get an even bigger gem. Exploring gets rewards. Simple lessons that are being repeated, but that I'm learning easily as I play it. Next part. Okay, another checkpoint. This is good. Bottomless pit. Bubble. This is starting to look like an actual level. I have to do something to get past here. Well, I know I can do this, and I know how the blocks work, so... Little review area, but with a sense of risk. If I fall, I die, I'd find out how the checkpoints work, I'd have no choice with that, and I'm forced to learn more. This area, I have a ladder going up, obvious path, but a fairly clearly marked secret area to the right. So let's hit that. And ignore my friends who pop up on Steam. Oh, this is an even more challenging area. Now I have to double pogo off bubbles to move on. Well, what's here? Oh, it's a dead end, but more big gems and another notepad thing. And I've learned that the bubbles behave a little bit differently. They reappear if I pop them. Good to know, because otherwise I would have to die. This whole level is riddled with tiny things like that, learning about how things respawn, which ones don't respawn, and how my actions affect the level. Well, this is clearly a secret. Hey, gems and an enemy. Risk and reward. But there seems to be nothing here, so let's go up. What? Okay, I didn't see that ladder below, but there's clearly something there. But the wall doesn't look different. Hey, there are even less obvious secrets that can lead to even more rewards. Now I know that it might pay off to keep attacking the walls everywhere, because there might be rewards, but there's still clear areas where I will certainly get other rewards. Layers upon layers of stuff to find in the game. Another checkpoint, and we can move forward. This is just a basic review area. You know, to hone some skills, jumping, shovel attacking, platforms, the basics. But considering things like jumping arc and whether you can attack in the air are important factors in any platformer, it's a good area. Now, here's that orange dragon mini-boss again, but he's over some pits. Well, why don't I just keep bouncing on him, and then figuratively platformer teabag by continuing to bounce on him after I kill him. I learned something new. Now when an enemy takes a lot of hits, I can only bounce on it as long as it's alive. As soon as I kill it, even if the sprite's still there, I fall through it. It's just as if it isn't there. NES platformer logic, but another little detail I understand. And another opportunity to understand what happens when I die and lose gold. I still don't know how gold works, and that and the note sheets are things I won't find out until the next part of the game where I'm in the village, but for now, I'm at least learning important stuff about the game. Huh. Well, let's take this. Hey! Okay, that skeleton clearly reacts to me, it just isn't very smart. Some enemies do things, but they are exploitable. They're not necessarily intelligent, they just have behaviors. And this little platform is an opportunity to find out, well, the game is fairly forgiving when it comes to the edge of sprites. Let's move on. There's another section that teaches you something very small but very useful in a very clever way. I can downward pogo to hit those small blocks, and I can side strike to hit that big block. So let's try to do that. I'll just clear some of these out. I keep bouncing until I hit this, or let's assume I didn't hit that. I try hitting that big block. I canceled out of the attack. Another mechanic that becomes really useful as the levels get more complicated. And if I just try walking through this blindly, I see that some enemies can hide in the foreground. Or behind the foreground, in the background. Another secret, more little rewards, reminding me of all the useful things I can find if I just hit everything with my shovel, and I can move on. Well, I know secrets lie beyond strange-looking walls, and some secrets can lie beyond normal walls, but I don't know what happens when the screen scrolls. So, let's check out this platform, because clearly, this is someplace I can go, but to the right is where I should go. Another challenging area. Small platforms, more risk, a bubble you have to bounce on to avoid bottomless pits, and you get a reward. More learning risk versus reward. Almost at the final part of this level, so... Now, to the right I was clearly being herded, big steps, two simple enemies to kill. There might as well have been a sign that says, hey, go this way. And there kind of was, because that tower in the background is to the right, just a little subliminal thing. Well, there's a checkpoint here. If I died before, I would have known that there's a certain number of checkpoints in each level, and I could figure out this is the last one. But there's nothing else here. There's like a little hill, but it's... Assuming you played Mega Man, you'd recognize this as sort of the boss door. But there's a little wall here that I can hit. Looks different from the other one, so... Hey, food! This boss door has become a boss fountain. This is going to happen before each night, and it's useful and a tiny thing to learn. And all the things I've been learning when jumping around and hitting with shovels and pogoing, very important when attacking the Black Knight, the Dark Shovel Knight, the Proto-Man Knight. Because I can't just run into him and hit him with a shovel constantly. I need to figure out his moves. He's definitely trickier, and I take more challenge much more easily. So this is sort of a test of, hey, you know how to explore, that's good, but did you figure out how to jump and shovel attack? Well, you have to now. And because that fireball is so big, I'm tempted to attack it. It's something you might learn, it's not necessary, it's not a vital part of the game, but it's a useful thing to have. But for now, let's just finish this.